Good evening, gentlemen and ladies, from wherever you are. This is iTiS Worship Fellowship, Monday question and response session, not question and answer session. We basically attempt questions about life, about God, the Bible, prophecy, religion, fasting, health, you name it. We just give our responses, not answers. And then, of course, God, through the Holy Spirit, continues to reveal the answers to you, as well as your own reading and research. We don't have all the answers here. We just give our opinions sometimes. Sometimes we give qualified opinions, other times just unqualified opinions, depending on the subject. We have accountants here, we have doctors, we have people in the medical field, we have lawyers. So depending on your question, we attempt to give a qualified opinion. And then, of course, you can go and do your own research. So today, being Monday again, 6 to 8 p.m., we do this East African time. If you have a question, you can always send it to us. We shall record a response and share it through audio or YouTube. That's why we upload this. So this session is recorded. And feel free to interact with us. Today, we have a question from Pedson, the usual suspect. He says it's not a new question. Some questions keep coming back, and that's okay. Like I've said, revelation keeps, coming in bits and pieces. So some questions can be answered over and over again. There's no problem with that.
Yes.
So let me hand over to you. What's your question?
Yes, Jet. My question is on the boy child. I'll put it in quotes. There's been this talk of how society has ignored the boy child and then elevated the girl child, and people are complaining that with time, sometime from now, that it's going to be a problem. This is going to catch up with us. Now, it is from there that I want to ask. The one, three things. The first one is, should we be worried? Really, is there anything to worry about? Number two, where did we go wrong if we're doing something wrong? And then the last one is, what can we do? I know we have answered these things here, but I'm getting this question from the weekend, where they're discussing about a certain woman who married a young man, and they're doing this from this, and then when someone was
woman married the man.
The woman married a boy. The woman married a boy. The woman is wealthy, and he married a boy. The woman is about, I think, 43, and this boy is 26. Then in the same thing, that's what some guy said. You see, he brought in a list of like 5 people who are like that, starting with our speaker. So really, it's from that. I'd thought that we had exhausted this, but from that thing, I'm bringing it back. I don't know if it's okay.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So your specific question is it true that the boy child has been neglected? Or is it
And
just
then, where did you go wrong? What can we do? And sorry, there are three. Where did you go wrong? What can we do? Then is it really something to worry about, or it's just a culture shift that we should just embrace and move on?
I think that's a very important question you've asked, Edson, especially the last one, in my opinion. Because, like I keep telling some people, societies evolve. The Western society just seems to be, in my opinion, at another level of evolution, maybe evolving faster than we are here, thereby trying to, in some people's opinions, impose certain things which they've already gone through, instead of letting us also evolve at our own pace. And maybe we'll get to where they are, or maybe we'll take a totally different direction. So it's an interesting question you've raised, Pedson. And of course, it speaks to feminism a bit because some people feel this whole girl child thing came from feminists who said enough is enough. The girls have been trampled upon for the longest time. We need to bring them out of wherever they have been dumped into the limelight, get the girls and the women out of the kitchen into the boardrooms, get them out of the bedrooms into the boardrooms and things like that. So, yeah, that feminism movement, I think, is what brought this whole thing. And it's interesting to have such a discussion. Where should I start from? Ebby, you should have an opinion about this one. First of all, is it true that the boy child has been neglected? That is Peterson's first question. Then, what is the ruckus all about? Isn't it just a phase of social anthropology where societies evolve? And so this is to be expected. You can't keep some people down for forever. Ebby, can you talk?
Yeah, let me first hear from the boys and then I'll probably submit.
You're representing the women here, please, please, please. It's Ebby here. Maybe I'll put you in a certain category also. Kale, let's hear from Nicholas. Nicholas, what do you think? What do you think? Is this whole girl child on top thing real, or it's just a creation of the media or a certain section of society? That's the first question.
It is true the boy child has been neglected, but the extent to which the girl child is still neglected is higher than the boy child. The girl child has, yes, the girl child has privileges in towns and cities. But when you go to rural areas, the boy still is a boss and the girl is a slave. When you go to the villages, you discover that girls are still looked at as a source of dowry. I was in a certain village in Bulambuli, and I was told their girls are getting married at 14. In 18. So the boy child is only neglected in families where there is no money to empower them to have education. But where a girl child has been empowered in the city, the boy child too is empowered. But where the girl child has been neglected, the boy still retains certain privileges in the rural areas. This so-called affirmative action is only favoring those who can have money and take children to school. And Uganda has not really reached that level. I moved to villages very much. The other time I was in Acholi, in my own village, I still see the things happen. The girls that were born when I was in Form 4, Form 6 are married. I was in Form 6 in 2006. So I did those about 18 years ago. And what is so Pedson's concern is legitimate, just that we have not been able to liberate the girl child flay. The girl child is not flay liberated. And actually, a girl child is being used as a source of income for certain people. They are there promoting girl child, but when it is actually for their benefit, not for liberating the girl child. The boy child in Uganda still has the authority, cannot fetch water, cannot cook. You know, they are busy playing cards. They are the thugs, those who have not gone to school because they have grown up with that masculinity mentality that I'm a man. I think that's what I see. I've not carried out research to really be authoritative in this area, but that's what I've observed in the places I've been to. I thank you, Chair.
Okay, before you go,
Yes.
is it something we need to be worried about? The neglect, you say the boy child has been neglected, but also the girl child. Is it something to be worried about? Should we be, what problem are we solving by, doing these things?
Yes, we should be worried about, because the neglected boy child cannot marry the empowered girl child. So what happens is that the neglected boy child is going to marry the neglected girl child, and the domestic violence will continue. So the empowered girl child will continue singing girl power and what, but she cannot have a home. And that's the danger, is something to worry about. I think what we need to do is to empower both the girl and the boy. They need to be empowered so that they can be able to think alike. I'll give you a scenario. In Chambogo here last year, Peter and I were called to bless the finalists. And during the blessing, couples came up. We had so many couples. People have been dating since year one, But as I tell you right now, they have all disintegrated badly. Completely. People who are like, darling, we are going to get married after graduation. Others were cohabiting. But immediately they moved out of the tent, they started disintegrating. Because the boy child fears to marry the empowered girl child. And now the girl child who is empowered is now going to look for somebody who is relatively older, who can accommodate her, somebody who has a PhD, a master's, because the fellow graduate is fearing her. You see? So it is something to be worried about, for sure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Bob, can you talk?
Yeah, kangezeko bamumpulira.
Tukuwulira sir.
Yeah, so my comment on
Hello, Bob. Is it just me or?
No, he's off. He's gone off.
hello, temumpulira.
Nedda tetukuwulidde.
Hello, ate wano, ate kati.
Kena maaso.
Okay, yeah, I was saying that there's neglect due to absence of father figures. There are single mothers, the ones who are available, and the fathers are not around. There may be neglect even by the fathers who are around. Okay, the father is around. Now, they don't know their role. We are faced with a generation where many have been raised up in a generation where fathers have completely ignored their role to raise up the boy child. Okay, the father knows as long as they are providing for the home, that is it. Nazikuno, fathers used to have time with their boys, okay? Teach them stuff, teach them ebintu by'abasajja. But these days, omusajja alabanga role here is just to provide for the home and they go away. In addition, there are men who cannot even provide for the home, okay? So we are really faced in a situation where I don't know where the help is going to come from, but for sure, I agree with the fact that the neglect of the boy child is something that is glaring. That is, you can easily see it. Broken marriages are now, everywhere. People just get into marriage and they don't know what to do, So where the focus has been mainly in Africa, the focus has been because previously the child was the one who was left behind. They are not educated. They are left to marry off early. This is still happening in villages. Nga previous speaker Gambia. I mean, I think either it was Pedison or who someone said in the villages these people are still being married off young. I think I don't know who said that, but this has been reduced because of these campaigns. Today you find an organization where every head of department is a lady. Okay, the CEO is a lady, the departmental managers are ladies. So ladies have been empowered, and they are now earning, they are now powerful, and as I said, they end up now they cannot be married by a guy who at a smaller launch. So we end up having again single mothers. Mothers are empowered, but there's no father in the house. Where do we go from here? I think we need to start with what we can. Whoever is a father, in our own abilities, okay? And the one who is speaking is also an absentee father for now, but hopefully he will make things right soon. But whether is like parent now, I do parenting on Zoom, but you can imagine parenting on Zoom, trying to catch up. But I do what I can with whatever I've been exposed to. But it's a call to us fathers to ensure that we spend time with our boys, to teach them what they are supposed to know as boys, such as they grow up with that responsibility as a man. Okay, unfortunately, the fathers, as we are also young fathers. We also don't know. We don't have a reference point because probably we've had absentee fathers too. So it is something we are going to have to learn to find a way, or support groups or whatever. But we need to rescue the boy child for sure. Otherwise, the future is doomed. Yeah, that's my submission.
What problems were these guys solving by trying to empower the girl child? Is it because the patriarchy had sat on the girl child for too long and suppressed her? Then now it was time to free this prisoner. Now this prisoner was freed, and now we don't know what to do with them. Isaiah, what problem was empowering the girl child? Okay, yes, Bob.
Yeah. Again, we copied this from the what we would call the first world or whatever world, and many times it is okay not to reinvent the wheel. I think I wanted to also comment on this, but I had missed it. That when we copy from, you had said, actually, I think it was Jethro who said maybe we need to take our time and we learn our evolution. Is it? Did you say evolution, or I don't remember the word you used? That these guys need to leave us and we learn things on our own. I don't think that would be good. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. For example, I'll give an example. Many people in our country, there will be ajakuva already selecting omuchala gwayagala okuwasa, and they love each other. The guy is even working, but he will say, I don't have money yet to make a wedding. Because we know that our weddings in Uganda or in our community, they are communal weddings. In the third world or in the first world, there will be a wedding for 5, 6, 10 people, and that wedding will be done, and these guys will move on with their life. Now, we may say that maybe we shouldn't copy that, or we should copy that, but if we don't copy that now, the guy who would have married now will take another 5, 6, 8 years trying to accumulate money to make a 50 million wedding, which they cannot afford anyway. So if we say, okay, let's take our time, we will learn to move away from these big weddings to very small weddings like what is done in the third world. That may take time. So when we are to copy and paste, we need to understand what we are copying and pasting and the reasons behind it, but we need to move fast, okay? And not just copy, but understand exactly the behind the scenes of this. And once we align them with our values, then we can move on. Yeah. Okay.
Bob, Petson wants to respond. He shot his hand up while you're speaking.
Jet, I hope my internet is okay.
We can hear you at least.
Hey, I was actually going to give point of information. There's an article that I read, and it was also still about women managers, like the thing of elevating these women to become CEOs, to go into those positions. And what is going to shock you is that the women managers are less than 15%. After this, I'm going to get that article and I share it with, I put it on WhatsApp. It's less than 15%. So you can say Anne Juko is in Stanbic, then there's a lady in MTN, and then there's now Susan Sivirwa is in Monitor. And which other CEO are you seeing? In Uganda, the corporate companies, So you can only mention 3 out of
Flores
maybe all the corporate companies that you can talk about.
It's on this Flores in Suvoga now. CEO,
but are you seeing
energy
how
something?
Yes, are you seeing how we can name them and even our fingers don't get finished? But now that thing of Susan Sivirwa or Anne Juko becoming the CEO of Stanbic is the one that is causing problems to us as men. That's why you see we're saying how can Anne Juko be there? I think there's a problem with the boy child. Are you guys over getting that thing? Because when Bob was saying so many women are becoming managers, these women are even not 15%. Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Ped. And by the way, we also know, maybe speaking to that part of preparing the girl child but not the boy child, the higher a woman goes, the harder it is to even find a mate. Now, these Anjukos are probably a bit lucky to have mates and all, but men are threatened by those types of women. So is it a problem with the women or the boy child? Anyway, Isaiah, I want you to start from there. What problem were these guys solving by empowering the girl child? Affirmative action. 1.5 extra points at Makerere S6. Girls get extra points. Women, MPs, what? Managers. What problem was being solved? And has it actually been solved? Are we on the right track?
Well, I was not in that meeting of the UN, which came up with all this nonsense. But
Nonsense.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but personally, I think that whenever the problem is misunderstood, the solution will look like that misunderstanding. And here we are. And I don't know why we are talking about this. What is wrong with women being empowered? Is there any problem? Because I've heard you mentioning a few of those problems by saying that the higher the woman goes, the harder it becomes for her to get married. I heard my brother Nicholas saying that the boy child is even afraid to marry an empowered lady. Maybe marriage is not necessary, because those who are empowering women do not actually even respect marriage. They don't even consider marriage to be part of the values. So for you guys to be bringing marriage into the perspective of empowering women, then you seem like you do not agree with them, because for them, there are two things that are not important. Marriage is not important and family is not important. So that is why they decided to empower the woman, the one that you call the girl child. What was important for them was the economy and the transition of dominance from the men to the women. And here we are dominating. Now, when you listen to that example that Peterson gave us of the statistics that only 15% of the women are in managerial positions, then that research should go back also and tell us how many women are influencing decisions in the boardroom when they are not even there. because that is very important. You might have Isaiah as the director, but before he makes that decision, he has to make a call or go back home and come and fetch the resolution from home, from a woman. And these things we have seen. And I think with that added to the statistics, those statistics might change, might really change. So to answer your question, Mr. Moderator, maybe I'll come back and say what I have to say. To answer your question, what was the problem that they were solving? They were solving a misunderstood problem, and their understanding of that problem was that the problem was patriarchal. So they decided to come up with a solution of replacing the patriarchal dominance with the matriarchal dominance. And they are yet to celebrate a success. Thank you, moderator.
You know, you've answered my question. Now go to your submission. If it is different from what you just said.
No, you see, moderator, when you look at the idea of empowering the girl child, empowering them how? How is the girl child not empowered?
She doesn't go to school. She looks after the home, while the boy is in the office or playing Mweso in the village.
Okay, why is
There's
it
no
that
voice?
why is it that I'm sorry to ask this radical question, but who said that everyone should go to school? And what do we mean by school?
Everyone should go to school because we are all equal, men and women.
What do we mean by school? Which school?
The formal school, formal education, what we call formal education. Why do you deny the girls that?
Now, what has formal education got to do
School
with
and SETA, school.
So those are the schools that we are talking about. So haven't we had a discussion here about school and education?
Yes, we have.
Yes. So why are we setting that fraud as a standard of judging one's empowerment and not being empowered? Because right now we are suffering with the internet because of these schools. We have a new phenomena of schooled idiots. Then someone wakes up in the morning and tells you that if someone didn't go to school, they are not empowered. Question, are the people who have gone to school empowered? Let us leave the girls alone. Let's talk about the boys who have gone to school. Are the boys who have gone to school schooled? But you see, someone has already set the narrative. Now, the problem is that the girls are getting married, and getting married is a problem. They shouldn't get married. They should go to school. Is the problem getting married?
And when they go to school, they can't get married because they're empowered.
And when they go to school, they can't get married because the school did not empower them to get married. So the school is an agenda to empower these girls in a different direction. And they have the bodies that need marriage. That is why every single schooled young lady who is empowered is almost a single mother, or he's a weekend married woman. Ebbi bambindeka. Ebbi. Moderator, mute Ebbi. So
I thought you're driving. You're even typing while driving. You're right.
When I start speaking, she parks to disorganize me. So, Mr. Moderator, where are we sending the girls Okay, let me leave the girls alone. Where are we sending the boys? Because I was here and I told you that the man is the seed. You cannot have proper girl child without a proper boy child. You cannot. The reason why the patriarchal societies were more functional than our societies was because the woman was in her rightful place and the man was also in his rightful place. As we speak today, we are all displaced. The empowered boys with degrees are in gyms, pulling these dumbbells to make body muscles so that they can go and get married. To the girl child, to the empowered girl child. So the girl child is empowered to marry. Ladies and gentlemen, no empowered girl child should look for a man. Just look for money, my dear sister. There are men there preparing to come and get married. That is where we are. And that was the agenda of whoever wanted to empower the girl child against the boy child. You go on YouTube and see. You go on not on TikTok. Go on Telegram. Go on what is this stupid app? Snapchat. And you see the empowered girl child, what she's doing on those social media handles. Snapchat has only for fans, where the girl child is displaying her being. And the boy child is subscribing monthly. They pay from 30K to 100K. Just to watch the being of the girl child, the empowered girl child. And those are the girl child that you see driving most of the expensive cars. Because according to my analysis, when you are driving along the road, I want you guys to test my statistics. Every 10 expensive cars, and by expensive I mean from 70 million and above, every 10 expensive cars, 8 out of those are driven by women.
Because they are emancipated.
And it's not because they are emancipated, it's because they are empowered.
Oh, because it's a leg, the power of a leg.
But out of those 10 that are driven by women, okay, only two out of those 10, only 2 have worked in an unexplainable way to earn that car. Now, 3 out of those are through the process of prostitution. Now, 5 of those cars driven by those women, okay, are driven by women who are dominating the boy child. The boy child works the money, and the girl child spends it. So that is where we are. You go tomorrow, guys. I'm giving an assignment. Tomorrow, you go and count on street. Start count only expensive cars, because the boy child is in Vitis, is in Harrier, is in Sienta, Primo. Those are the cars of the boy child. But the boy child who drives a Premio has bought a Range Rover. Has bought a Range Rover for a girl child. So, gentlemen, whoever set this narrative has succeeded. It is not called love, MB. MB, it is called witchcraft. It is called abuse to the boy child. The boy child has to be saved as soon as possible. Unfortunately, I think it is even too late, because it is the boy childs that are now defending the abuse acted upon them by the girl child, and they call it love. They call it being a gentleman. They enter church compounds carrying the bag and carrying the children, and the girl child is walking alongside, carrying her smartphone, looking at her social media channels. Boy children at home, they are in the kitchen. So you have to make the money and cook for the girl child. Where the girl child watches her favorite shows on what is this channel?
Entertainment.
Watches dancing cats.
So that is where we are. But how did we get there, Mr. Moderator? We got there. How did we get there? We got there when something went wrong with the concept of identity. We no longer know who a man is and who a woman is. That identity is lost. We need to start from there. But for now, since we don't have time, let me tell you the summary of that problem. The girl child has become who she is. I mean, besides this system, the girl child has become who she is because of the stagnated boy child. We have many what I call old boys. We have many boys with beards. And once a man does not materialize into a man and stays as a boy, the girl child will never be a woman. Because I can, once a boy stagnates and never materializes into a man, the girl will never become a woman. You ask any lady, ask all of them, they will tell you. Today I posted something on my status. A lady went into a gym. She was then a man came besides her. I don't know whether someone watched my status. And this lady was looking at this man salivating like she had seen a good man, etc. When the man started exercising, she started exercising like a lady, holding her hands like the lady walked away in disgust. Why? Because no lady wants a boy for a husband. No serious sober lady wants a boy for a husband. No serious sober lady wants a boy for a partner in business. They don't even want to go out with you, because when they go out with you, they want to listen to what you're saying. Because men are visual, women are audible. So these ladies go out with these so-called men, and when they start speaking, boys are heard. It is because most of the men, we have stagnated. We are still boys with beards and gray hair, still boys. Women want to be queens to kings. The problem with the so-called kings, yes, when you look at them, you see kings. And they have even built castles. They have mansions, they build expensive, they have huge companies and factories and organizations that they are leading. But when you get closer, when women get closer to these physically big kings, they see a kid. We are stagnated. And because we are that quality, women have become that quality. That is why women are giving us what we kid men, kid kings, boy men, what we want. They are on social media displaying their beans, and we are paying. We are paying.
Beans make the world go round.
It makes the world of boys go around. It just makes the world of boys go around. The pornographic industry is being funded by the boy child, and is being run by the girl child. Women are working, yes, and I told you they are working, they're making a lot of money, and they're just making money to spend, not to build. That's why the industry, the boy child has gone into the industry to make eyelashes, make nails, make bums, make legs, make everything, make hair, because that's where the women spend their money. Why? Because the man has failed. The agenda of the enemy was kill the seed. Once you kill the seed, the whole thing is gone. It is for that matter that the Bible says that it was Eve who ate the fruit first. That mythology is very communicative. In Genesis chapter 3, Eve ate the fruit first, and the world was not cursed. The world was not cursed, ladies and gentlemen, when Eve ate the fruit. And I can assure you, women are justified and exonerated in the fall of this world. Because when they ate the fruit, okay, nothing happened. The problem, Eve was married to a boy. Eve was married to a boy known as adult Adam. I still insist, as far as that mythology is concerned, in Genesis chapter 3, that if Adam had refused to eat, the world wouldn't have been cursed. Because in Genesis chapter 3, again, I think it is verse 19, the Bible says that because you have listened to the voice of your wife and not listened to me, and many men are just listening to the voice of this girl child, these girls in form of their wives. So the world has been cursed. The world has been cursed because the boy child, not only has he been neglected, but he has been abused. So moderator, we must start where we are as soon as we can to build men in boys. We must start early. Help them physically. Help them physically to be strong and muscular, to face roughness. Don't raise a boy like a girl. We must start as soon as possible. You must tell your boy that she's responsible for her sister. She's responsible. When you give pocket money, you must give the boy less. Maybe we'll come when we're talking about the girl, how to raise a girl. But let's talk about the boys, because it is only the boys that can save us from these women. Otherwise, we're all gone. So we must start from where we are. Why do I say that you must tell your son that he's responsible for her sister? Because she will be in charge of his wife. The problems that we see in relationships, in marriage, in industry, it is because women are in charge of men. These things are almost natural. Men should be in charge. The problem with the devil, he has made it a success for equality to replace equity. Because wherever you go, Mr. Moderator, you hear people say equality, 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 isn't it? No, equality is wrong. What is right is equity. Equality means a man becomes a woman and a woman becomes a man. To achieve a goal. Equity means a man stays a man and a woman stays a woman. They both work together in their differences and in their roles, and they achieve a goal. So this is why you see boys are wearing makeup. They are taking their feet to the salon to be scrubbed. They are doing pedicure and manicure. Men. Men are being handsome. And men are in filters. They are being handsome and pretty. We have
do not
beautiful men.
say. Musumba.
Mukama.
Musumba.
Wanyi ebbi.
Okay. Omusajja ogenda ne bamumasajingako ku kigere bannange. Mutwonoonera n'amasuuka all because.
It is not okay. How am I going to lower if I am as soft as you are?
It is like you saying it's not okay for a man to receive a massage.
I'm not taking it to that extreme. Do not bastardize it. I am saying, why do we have the same cosmetics? You also know you want a man to handle you a B. You really want a man to handle you. To hold you. Uwulirenga musajja ebbi.
Omusajja alina okuba ne ku nkyakya bannange.
Omusajja nga alina ekigere nga bw'okikwatamu bw'oti owulira enjola ng'owulira enjola naye buno obugere obulinga obw'ekikazi basajja
Musumba ebbi mubuuza ekibuuzo kimu yandiyagadde musajja we abeere n'olususu nga lulinga olulwe.
The industry of models has men. I am a model. A man. Gentlemen, what is happening? A man is a model. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. Omusajja ate okuba nga ali rafu ne bwe kabeera kampi nganzi nga olaba kagumu nga bwe kakwata okawulira.
Musumba tewali kikyamu kibeera musajja kubeera model. There is nothing wrong with that.
Moderator
bw'abanga amodelinga by'abasajja oba onfuna ngaze ayambadde suuti z'abasajja omubiri gwa kisajja engato za kisajja sikwate kwambala bya kikazi. That's the version.
Naye omusajja yeemodola atya basajja mmwe?
Amodelinga suits za Calvin Klein bannange tuba twagala
amodelinga zaaki? Omusajja atandika ddi okwemola amodelinga zaaki?
We need to know the trend kati musumba
dami zikola ki abasajja batandika bwe mutyo mutandika okusirwaza abaana ebbi omwana oteeka okumukuza bino omusajja tabikola naye kalicha eriwe egamba what a man can do a woman can do. I am a male model. Okwemola kwa abakazi bwe mbanku kwano ino okwemola okwemola kwa abakazi omusajja ndawo ne weemola n'okomba emimwa omusajja akomba emimwa.
Musumba wulira n'ennyimba ng'obulungi bunzita
ng'omusajja yaluyimba gwe Enoka ogamba mbu bw'aba amodelinga by'abasajja okugwa bwe kutyo bwe kutandika sitaani bw'ati bwe yatandika. Tulwana n'ono sitaani olowooza yatandika ng'aliko eno level gye tuliko.
Musumba, a question. Do you put on floral shirts?
Buli kimu tulina okiteeka mu perspective yakyo. Omusajja afumba ye omusajja asobola okufumba kati ekyo nakyo bw'oba okigaana then we can discuss that.
Exactly.
You know? So it's buli kimu olina okiteeka mu context. Nze bwe ndowooza buli kimu kigenda mu context yakyo.
Basebo ne bannyabo kati nakyo leka mbeere radical mbannyonnyole omusajja tafumba okuggyako nga yeefumbira.
Anti kati otaddeko condition.
Ate si condition kinkugambye omusajja alina omukazi afumba atya?
Afumba. Bw'abakkiriza omukazi agende n'akola tojja anti ati nkubuulira scenario.
Kati Bob totawala gy'olaga yonna ndaba etofaayo. Kati oli eyaleeta kino ekizibu kati why are we discussing this problem? Why is it a problem? Kubanga oli eyaleeta yeri problem ya replacinga family ne finances. Kati we twogera olwaleero we do not have families, we have finances. Omusajja afumba Enoka afumba naye tafumba ng'alina omukazi. Tewaliwo omukazi ategeera ayagala musajja mu ffumbiro lye. Eyo ye kalicha yaffe. Problem endala gye Ssaabagambye yiino wano nti baleeta ekizibu kino baglobalizinga culture neefuuka universal. Kati culture nebeera universal ne values ne zibeera universal. nti olwokubanga abasajja abazungu bafumbira bakazi baabwe nammwe abasajja abaganda mufumbire bakazi bammwe kakata ate bwe muwala okubafumbira ate mwagala ate babafukaamirire
Musumba,
confusion muteeka okusalawo muli bazungu muli baganda tutandikira
Musumba okimanyi nti nno okuggyako maama wange okunjigiriza ebyobuwangwa by'okufumba taata wange njigiriza all cousins ne chapati tuzikola babiri ku Sunday tosobola nakikkiriza taata wange
oyo si musajja bajagga
tugende mpola ebyo ebyokulabirako bingi tuli ffenna in fact tewaliiwo nabagamba dda wano abazungu tebasobola kutuyigiriza ngeri yakwata mukazi because our women were way happier than their women. No lwaki kubanga baali bakola emirimu gyabwe nga bakola ebitundu byabwe n'abaami nga bakola ebitundu byabwe bwe kibanga gwe kitaawo ye yakuyigiriza okufumba nga yali amanyi okufumba granted nyoko ye yali amufuga nyoko si yali amufuga naye gw'onoonya musajja wakufuga lwaki kubanga oli empowered era gw'onoonya musajja akufumbira kubanga kitaawo ye yakuyigiriza okufumba kati gwe wafumbirwa kufumbira bana mwe omusajja tateekwa kubeera mu ndabirwamu nga yeemo mulekerawo ebintu ebyo omusajja tateekwa kukola make-up omusajja alina omukazi tagenda mu ffumbiro lya mukazi omuyamba mulwadde ali ku kitanda omusajja ateekwa kubanga amanyi okufumba naye teyeefumbira African man Chechi Peterson. There is nothing like African man. Mbwaiza is a real African man. I am not an African man. I am a sober man. Because African is also a stereotype. Kata atali African alichali American. Kata ali American ya singa African. Ata eriye jogo sirianga eri abazungu eriye nwanyisa. The whites have dominated us to the extent that now we think that they are the standard of what is right and what is wrong. That is wrong. They are not right in everything. I have read of many of their stupid books, and they have more idiots than we have in Africa. The difference is that our idiocy is more popularized than theirs. I will give you an example. We had President Mugabe here falling each and every time because of age. He was all over the internet. Have you seen Biden all over the internet? And yet Biden is doing more than what Mugabe did. So this kind of imperialism should stop.
He is there also. Biden.
No, he's not there as Mugabe was. That's what I was saying.
Omukebera agwero jja musangako ku internet ng'agwa.
Taliyo nga Mugabe bwe yaliyo ku social media waliko wati waliko. Gwe kizibu kyo eno katolaba bintu in principle golaba buwagu. We must stop this dominant culture over ours. The whites are not the standard of value. They are not the standard of culture. They are not the standard of what is right and what is wrong. We must think Africans, you have heads. Asians have heads. Caucasians have heads. We are all created in the image of God. So just because the women are dominating the men in the West, women should not dominate the men in Africa. And if men are here in charge, that should not say that the women are abused because men are in charge. Why? Because statistically, more women are battered and abused physically in the West than they are in Africa. But no one is running those statistics.
Isaiah, you're suggesting nti culture yaffe tuddeyo nga omukyala abeera waka omwami n'agenda n'akola. If we agree with that, then some of the things can be applicable. Ng'omukyala wa waka omwami yakola. So then because that is our setup. But otherwise, when we agree...
First of all, njagala kutegeeza Bob njagala kutegeeza should sit on your culture and understand it. There is no way in our history omukazi we yatuula ewaka. the African wife yali akola tabeerangako waka. Omusajja yagendanga okuyiga, omukazi n'agenda mu lusuku. Mulekerawo ebintu ebyokugamba mbu twogera ku housewife. Tetwogera ku housewife. Omukazi w'Omufirika tabeerangako housewife. Yagendanga mu nnimiro ng'avaayo saa 7 ne bbaawe n'alekayo oluusi bbaawe. N'akomawo nga yeetisse byagenda okufumba. Omukazi w'Omufirika kuva dda akola si stay home woman. Ekyo abazungu be baleeta propaganda. Nze simulaba mu history waffe.
Anti kakati ebintu byakyuka.
Kiki ekyakyuka?
Yes, oyogedde n'ogamba omukazi yagenda nga n'avaayo ku 7 n'adda ewaka afumbe. Naye kakati omukazi akolera Ntebe babeera bwayiise. Omulimu gugwa ssaawa 12.
Kati eyo kapo y'abasiru. Kapo y'abasiru etamanyi values. Kubanga wuliriza, twagala abantu bategere values. Kiki ekiri valuable, finances oba family. Kubanga we byafiira. Bwe mmala okweestablishinga nti no family eri valuable. Emirimu gye munoonya temunoonya mirimu gigenda kutta value. Is anyone following? Kubanga wano waliwo greed one. There is greed. Abantu bedda lwaki
basasa. I'm on your side.
Yes.
I'm on your side.
Omusajja n'asigala nga musajja n'omukazi n'asigala nga musajja. Kati value mwagidefininga mutya nti finances. Kubanga eyabasetingira, you are within a katiba. Someone set a katiba, you are working within that katiba. Kemutamanyiko ne gye kaava. Katolina bagandu finances zisinga family. Kati ne mukwata omwana muteeka mu kindergarten ne musuula eyo. Ate ne mwagala abeere n'empisa. Ngate mwamuga mu finances zimusinga. Kati really Bob ekyokulabeko kyolese kirungi. Musula bwayise omukazi akolera Ntebe. Oyagala omukazi atambule mwoyo jjamu yenna. Ddala akomawo akufumbire. Mugende omulimu we guli oba mukole emirimu egiri awo okumpi mufune ssente ezo. Because you can't eat your cake and have it. Munsonyiwe mbaleekaanidde nnyo mweraba moderator weeraba mbaddiza akazindala kamwe sijja kuddamu kwogera.
Kansoka ngene wa Tom wedda ayagala kuyingirawo. Tom. Ndio kengende fune reactions z'abantu. Penso yabuze ekibuuzo nga tutandika. Kino ekya affirmative action ekya abawala baleeta mu office mu forefront okubawa points Makerere n'ebirala. Ng'abuuza ekyo ekintu kya kituyambye oba tekituyambye kiriseewo abalenzi empowering omuwala not empowering mulenzi oba okoze eki. Is it something to be worried about or not? Awo ebibuuzo bya Penso yabuuzizza tutandika otusanzise katufuna ky'obuukidde nakyo.
Bw'okozesa ekigambo empowering mu Luganda oba ogambye eki? Ndyoke nnya
empowering kwongeramu ayi busobozi anji
kwongeramu oba kuwa?
Ndowooza kwongeramu munyambeko abamanyi Oluganda.
Kubanze ekigambo empowerment nkitegeera nga okuwa omukazi ekintu kyatabadde nakyo. Si omukazi kyatabadde nakyo, especially omukazi Omufirika wano. Nze bannaaye nze ng'omusajja nze okuggyako obwavu buno saagala mukazi akola, siri comfortable naye ngamba okukola mu ofiisi nze nenfuluma awaka ssaawa 2 oba 12 naye n'afuluma 12 nenkomawo ku emu ye n'akomawo ku 2 oba naye n'akomawo ku emu. Siri comfortable n'oyo omukazi era ndowooza nti kuforamu kuno singa si bwavu, singa obusobozi abasajja abali kuno singa babulina, ndowooza nti basobola okuvootinga nti omukazi atuule awaka oba omukazi akolere emirimu gye awaka. So nze ndowooza nti ekya empowering first of all si kyaffe wano, si Kifirika. Abantu abakireeta baatuguza ekintu naye nga kirimu obutwa. Baatuguza Dayozen ali mu mata naye nga kati tutandise okuwulira obuzibu bw'ebyo. nina abaana ab'obuwala be basinga mu baana bange obungi. Nina ebintawaanya ku bo. Njagala babeere bakazi. Naye bwe ntunuulira abalenzi abaliwo, nfuna okusoberwa. Abawala bange ndi mu kubasomesa, naye kati bintabudde olwa kino ekigamba mbu empowering. Okusomesa omwana omuwala si kibi, naye omusomesezza ki? Lwaki omusomesezza? Bw'obanga omusomesezza atandike okutekinga on role y'omusajja, then tolina kyokoze. Nze ndowooza nti omusajja n'omukazi setting yaffe y'ekifirika, omusajja alina role eyiye n'omukazi alina role eyiye, ate nga ndowooza nti roles zino ziri God given. Tekitegeeza nti rolo y'omukazi ya wansi oba rolo y'omusajja ya waggulu oba rolo y'omukazi ya waggulu, whatever. Ne roles olw'okutambuza obulamu. Families zifudde, tulina abantu ku makubo nga tebategerekeka lwa kigambo kino empowering. Olina omukyala awaka, olina muzadde abaana mubalekedde maidi, kaabe musajja, kaabe mukazi, musobola okumuyita house help, musobola okumuyita house manager. Abaana bano bagenda kuyonka mpisa z'ono house help. Oluvannyuma nga batuse mu myaka 2, mujja batwala mu daycare, mu myaka 3 mubatwale mu nursery, batandike okuyiga ebyo. Kati tufune society nga ndobonkamu, kubanga women empowerment, tumanyi emancipation, sibiwagira. Era omusumba babadde ayogedde ebirowoozo byange byonna. Nze nandyagadde okubeera ewange nga ndi musajja, era sikwanangayo mukazi aŋŋamba nti njagala obeere n'omubiri gwo gubeere mugonvu ng'ogwange bwe guli. Omusajja, nze nteekwa kubeera musajja. Sigamba bukyafu, naye ŋŋamba omusajja okubeera omusajja. Era ekigambo musajja, I think kiva ku role ya male person mu bulamu bw'omukazi. Neyanza ssebo.
Yanza Tom. Thank you, Tom. Ebbi, osobola okwogera ndowooza. Obwedde oyingira naye njagala otuwa opinion ye. Wagambye oyagala kulinda abasajja bano basooke boogere, then naawe olyoke oyogere. Kati jangu.
Sigenda kwogera ebyange byakumibwa musumba. Kubanga this topic is extremely broad and it requires so much perspective. So much perspective. That is why Mbuzi Zamusumba, can he wear a floral shirt? Natanziram. So. Sorry?
Yes, he can.
Yes, he can.
Can he wear a pink shirt? Yes.
Yes, he can. Then that is where my argument stops. Because yes, his points are valid, but they are so much theoretical. So much theoretical. We have evolved. We have really, really evolved.
Oyo Isaiah is an African man.
Yeah, that is true. An African man. But ideally, you might find that in the confines of Isaiah, yes, there is some modernity in him. That is why I asked, does he wear a floral shirt? Because there are some true African men I know who do not just wear any colored shirt. It is strictly a white shirt and a black coat or a black trouser. It's as simple as that. So, standard,
Anti pink magic stereotyping ambu y'abakazi.
Ndowooza owulira embaga. Akatiba okawulira.
Era bw'obusebensidde busajja yadisi maama.
Alese ne kasita.
Otumanyira naawe.
Bwe Tom biki by'oleetamu ebyo naawe?
Ebi yaleese mbu obusemu aba 7 side tomuwulidde.
Anyway, ebya akozesa submission ye. Kasokeze wa Bob. Bob wabadde disagreeing to some aspects of pastor submission. Soko je naawe.
Ndoza submission yange nagikoze kubanga I think as Ebbi bwagambye I mean olwaleero omusajja omuganda oba omusajja omuganda omufirika takyayambala mbugo, you know, kati twambala zino engoye ez'abazungu ze baatuleetera. So as long as twatandika okwembracinga gye tuyita evolution nga moving on, we need to adjust. For me, this is my picture of a good. Okay, this is a picture, balance picture gender maka with the evolution that is coming. Previously walengawo issues omukyala alekeddwa maybe akola omulimu, kale tugamba akoze omulimu aveeko ku musanvu kubanga alina okudda ewaka ategekera waka omwami akomewo akoye amwanirize naye ne wabeerawo issue yajja nti actually just to answer your other previous question, how did we get here, omwami ayinza okufa n'avaawo. Omwami nga bw'avaawo nga mukyala abadde, you know, asigala tasobola kwasaganya bintu yekka, abaana ne bamubeererawo. So then there was this issue, why don't we empower women nabo babenga, you know, in case of anything babasobola taking care of the home. Okay, so this is where we come from, of a combined effort to build a legacy kubanga for sure tetukyali mu setup yedda whereby twayinanga ennimiro omukyala n'omuleka n'agenda mu nnimiro gwe n'ogenda n'oyiga ebibira tebikyaliwo byonna byaggwawo. Definitely you need to find omulimu, you know, if she is to do something.
Ebibira weebiri oli mu America ekyo kibira.
So Bob
Amalize banaye. Tom leka Bob amalize submission. Tom soka olufugo.
Abasajja nga bambuukidde.
Musajja kamalize submission ye bannange.
So kyengamba in this concerted effort omwami asigaza atya role ye ng'omusajja, okay? N'omukazi n'asigaza role ye ng'omukyala nga bakola in harmony. All feel twavudde ku empoweringa boy child. Bwe njigiriza mutabani wange omukyala wange bwayigiriza mutabani wange okufumba tekitegeeza nti yagenda okubeera mu ffumbiro all the time. Okay, omukyala ayinza okuba akoze leeti leero in the event of us, you know, trying to raise to provide for our family as a team, nenfumba, you know, kuba nze nkomyewo awaka amangu nenfumba because it's kugamba bintu bya kuyambagana, buli omu kuyamba munne. Okay, sijja subira nga Isaiah bwagambye, tojja subira mukyala komawo saawa avuga agende ntebe akomewo ku bbiri ate akufumbire ate omwebakeko ate mwesanyuse, you know, so it becomes, the lady becomes being exploited. But you mwenna mu kola mwembi, how do you work together to raise this boy child nga akule nga ali responsible ng'omusajja, nga amanyi responsibilities ze ng'omusajja, naye ate nga alabe ekifaananyi ekya harmony at home. Okay, so finding that balance is where we are having the issue. But with the evolution, with the modernization, with the reality of things, omwana ajja kusoma omulimu nga tagenda gufuna, engineer naye kati omugamba omulimu agufune close to home agenda gujja wange era alina kukola mu KCCA ate mubeera Ntebe. So you need to adjust accordingly, but at the end of the day kubanya nti mwena mwewa respect ono tayisamu munne maaso noli respect yoli agimuwa. For me that is what is important. Yeah.
Okay, Bob, thank you. It's Tom.
Ekitegeeza Bob ensonga ye fact enkulu provision bwavu. Singa obwavu tebuliiwo, singa provision ebaddewo, Bob naye yali badde agamba ya omukazi kabeere waka akolere waka, kubanga bw'ayogera ku kufa kw'omusajja omukazi n'aba nga asobeddwa, abaana tebalina provision, tebagenda kusoma, obwera bwavu. Musumba kyabadde agamba era nange kye ŋŋamba nti ffenna ng'abasajja I think tewali musajja ali comfortable na kino kye tulimu naye kubanga waliwo factor y'emmere factor ya provision factor y'obwavu twesanze nga tuwaliriziddwa tukoto to this era abantu abaayiiya kino baayiiya n'obwavu kati edda omuntu ng'alina ennimiro abeera n'ensigo ze n'asereka ensigo n'asimba byatuya naye kati ensigo oteekwa kuzigula mu dduuka kati n'obwo obusobozi babutuggyeko bataddewo obwavu so nze ndowooza nti bino byonna bye twogera tugamba bugambi nti sirina kyakukola singa kibaddewo n'alibadde omukazi takola tali mu kino kya empowerment and emancipation.
Tom Joyanziza. Petson, your hand is up.
When Bob was submitting, I wanted to maybe just me what I had understood from Isaiah. Isaiah was showing that previously there used to be work for women and work for men. The only problem that we are having is that right now women are doing men's work and men are doing women's work. So that is the confusion. So the time when Isaiah brought an example that women used to go to the garden and then they come back and prepare meals by 1 o'clock. So I think he was trying to show how the jobs for women and men were segregated and society was moving on very well. The only problem right now is that we are just doing. So that's the confusion that needs to be clarified. If we agree that men should be the one to go to office, women should be the one to go to office and women look after children, then that would be okay. But right now, you have a woman who is going to office. You have a man who is going to office. You have no one who is looking after children. I think, okay, me, that's what I'd understood. I don't know if maybe that can be made more clear. He was not talking about that now women should go back to gardens, to digging and all that. But then I think the jobs the jobs and responsibility should be made clear, and we stick to that.
And the other thing, Pedson, that you actually understood me. The other thing that I was saying, let us go back to understanding who we are. Let us not try to be each other. Men are fighting to become women. Women are fighting to become men. So besides even the gender roles, there is a problem. Then, finally, my principal point, finances must not take the place of family. They must not take the place of family. We must remind the boys that if you marry someone's daughter, you are going to take care of her. Whenever she's pregnant, you count 7 years. She cannot start working until the born child is 7 years. So you must provide for her. And the girl child also must be trained to understand what it means to be someone's wife, what it means to be a woman. Okay, let's not even go to the marriage bit. What does it mean to be a woman? Do these ladies understand what it means to be a woman? Do the boys understand what it means to be a man? This is the problem. And because this new phenomena has abused these identities, here we are. The excuse of I'm an African man. What do you mean by an African man? Yes, I am an African man. That's where I am. And the other one is an American man. And he's not better than me because he's an American. Neither am I better than him because I'm an African. Because that kind of stereotype, that is Africa, we have evolved. How have we evolved? We must understand and ask questions. How have we evolved? I have ably demonstrated there is no time in history when our wives were not working. So this business of I am a working woman, it is like it is a new phenomenon. No, it is not. Women have always been working women. They have been like that. And men have always been working men. So they are not bushes. No, they are bushes. Bushes have just changed. Bob is in the bush he's hunting in the forest of America. Mrs. Bob must be at home. taking care of the children. Because the man has gone to hunt. And Mrs. Bob must be working also at home. China has developed because factories are at homes. But the problem with Africa, factories are not, that they cannot be built at homes. Africa is selling lands to go and be employed. And that is an agenda that has been set by the white man's culture that we have set as a standard. This is a sin. It is horrible. It is demonic. It is satanic. I'm telling you as a pastor and as a teacher of the Bible, this is a devil's agenda. Women must come down, men must become men. We must build families and establish them and emphasize them as the ultimate value at the end of the day. Gentlemen and ladies, all of you are working, but you are working for children. But are you working for children really? Are they children? Because while you are working for them and you are looking for bread, someone is mentoring them. You are focusing on money, another demon is focusing on your family. It is an agenda. So this business of boy child, girl child, I am telling you, the first person to kill this whole thing is the one who misunderstood the problem. The one who said that the patriarchy was a problem and therefore you can solve it with the matriarch. Men were dominant. Let us make women dominant and we solve the problem of dominance. What a banana. I am entirely in a wrong world, banana. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you, Isaiah. My brother Nicholas, you've been quiet. What do you have to say before I bring in my other sister, Nancha?
I'm a bit engaged here, Chair.
Okay. That's fine. Nancha, can you talk?
Yes, Papa, I can talk.
Okay.
Papa,
Have you
I
been
can
following?
talk. Yeah, I've been following. However, I didn't get the question. I just came in a few minutes ago.
Okay. The
I didn't
question
get the
is,
question.
or the set of questions was, this whole girl emancipation, women emancipation business, has it caused more harm than good? Was it the right solution to the right problem? Is it something to be worried about?
Ladies, I'm on a call. Okay.
Tell them so. Tell them so.
Sorry. Okay.
So it was a series of questions, but around women emancipation, girl child, parenting, even now we've crossed to marriage and dual roles.
Yeah, it's a good move. Okay, it's a good. It is a good initiative. However, I think it was misguided. It's a very good initiative because recently we had men working, and therefore they were the ones who were provisional, and that meant that now one man had to have very many wives because he had the resources more, and the unfavored woman would not have her children get as good privileges as the loved woman would get. There were inequalities. Now, when we have this women emancipation thing, a woman who has the desire to have her children achieve certain things now has the ability to achieve, to make her goal become a reality, unlike in the past. So it's a good initiative. However, the problem with it is we have lost family. I agree with Pastor Isaiah on his point that when a woman gets pregnant, you literally have to count on average 6 to 7 years, 6 to 7 years of her not having good productivity, because I believe that we need to nurture our children. We can't leave them in the hands of a maid. And remember, you cannot even have one maid for 7 years for the most part. So you would say, I can work with one person who is good and be with them and for a long time. It's almost impossible. Children getting through different hands, getting bad guidance. You can't trust your child with just about everyone. So I think it's a good initiative. However, I feel like if it is possible, the one who will be in the nurturing role should find means of making more money, working and being at home to mar the activities. Then also, whilst I think of that, I also think about the school thing, because the children will be going to school, and then when she is just at home, so that time should be used to work. So I don't know, it's a very confusing situation for me. It's a very confusing situation for me as a person, but I believe it's a very good initiative and I embrace it and I like it. I just think that we need to just find better ways of dealing with it, but not to remove it entirely. It's a good initiative, in my opinion.
Okay, Nancha, thank you. We have about 18 minutes to go, but considering where we are, is it possible to go back to those traditional roles as we've been talking about them? With all this capitalism going on, Nancha out of Uganda, Bobby's out of Uganda, Bobby's on the road driving. Can we go back to those roles? How do we balance them with our capitalism? That is the question.
Well, I believe we can. Being in this country, saying omuntu kati yalibadde singa nina omwami wange nalibadde ne bwe nalibadde tulina ekitundu kyaffe kye tufunye ne tukonkaringa ekyo ne tubeera ku ekyo, ng'oli mu maka ago ng'abantu bajja ne bamanya ago ge maka ago, ne bwe kwalibadde kulima bintu byo ne obeera awo ne mu livinga in your means that you have at that time, nga bwe mu managing, nga bwe mukula to get on a better level. Natuukako kussa erinyiiga ne ntandika okulowoozaamu bwe ntyo. Ne ndabya ddala nga kiba kintu kya kitiibwa, nga ndaba grid gye tulina tumaliriza tetuli mu having a wholesome growth, nga socially tosobodde kufuna, you've not got social capital kubanga oli mu kuzungazunga, toyina wootuula, toyina impact gy'okola ku society eri very meaningful kubanga toliiwo, society tekufiiringa, ate society esigala etambula kwegamba obeerawo kwegamba nga toyina kuyimirira ng'omuntu. Kati nga ndowooza nti bw'obeera ng'otuuse n'ogamba let me be humble, ng'okwata ky'olinawo ng'ogenda ng'otandikira ku ekyo ng'oguma n'embeera ng'otandika otambula nga ekyalibadde ng'oyavula, ng'oyimirira, ng'otambula, ng'oflyinga, kubanga era kisoboka, you know. Ndowooza nti we have to get to a point where we agree to that, ne tutuula ne tugamba I will make impact, ebintu byenjize bimala kambikozese okusobola okukola impact mu society yange, at the same time kwegamba nga bw'okola erinnya, nga bw'okola ebintu bwe bityo. Baby girl, people are hearing you. Kati nga ndaba ensonga eyo kwegamba tuveemu okuwankawanka. We can be able to do it when we stumble upon this knowledge, kubanga ekituufu kyo kiri nti ogenda okukibalaabalamu nga it's not worth it, ng'omuntu atudde n'ovaamu okuwankawanka n'oguma n'ekyolina n'ogenda ng'okola mpola nga bw'oyambuka nga obeera okola more sense than omuntu ali okutambula nga alinga atalina direction, nga taggumira, kubanga at the end of it all ffenna twagala kuggumira. Nze nzikiriza nti Yes?
That's what I'm telling my No, thank you. Thank you for your submission.
You're welcome.
Pedson, I think clearly, if I'm to go back to your original questions, has it done more harm than good? Clearly it has, based on what we've discussed and of course what you observe around the world. It's done more harm than good.
Yes.
Yeah, now of course the question is, what can we do about it? Thankfully, all of us here, we know what the problem is. So now what remains is whether we can actually practice some of these things we're talking about. Ed, can you have a man working from around the home or near home? Hope she doesn't have to travel 100 kilometers daily.
By the way, me actually, Amara right now, she's been she's been at home from last year March. She's not been working. Yeah.
Not been working.
Yeah, she's been looking after kids specifically.
Yeah, that is also work, by the way. I hope you're paying her.
God will pay her. But seriously, that thing, I don't, either we have to just shut up and accept our fate. But really, I think there's some really some serious problem, eh?
I think we don't have to accept our fate. There's something we can do.
But then, do you think we have that? Do you think it's within our means to do anything? Because the force is just crazy. It's just too much. I don't think we like how these guys came and changed their culture, and then we had to accept their culture. They brought their religion, they brought their education. Now, whatever they think about is they bring it here. One of the biggest challenges right now, what we have is globalization. So something comes up in the US, it goes to Africa, it goes to Asia, it goes in just like a wildfire. So I don't know really if we have much to do.
We should just accept that we've been colonized.
Hey, because if we accept yeah, the moment we accept, then we live better. Eh? If then the thing that
Kivulankuva style guy, is it called Kivulankuva?
Hey, Kivulankuva. So if we the more we accept, the better. Then now these things will no longer be a shock to us.
We accept their homosexuality, their what? Aren't we being colonized? Let me get some closing remarks. Bob, what are your closing remarks on this? Your parting shot.
Senior remarks. I think I've said what I need to say. Yeah.
Okay. Tom, closing remarks?
Tugume, moderator tugume bugumi. Ekyatulya kyatumira.
Tugume kitulie. Tumire.
No, kyatulya, ngambye nti ekyatulya kyatumira. Tuli mu lubuto lwakyo.
Okay, nkitegedde. Ebby, closing remarks? Ebby taliyo kale. Nacha, closing remarks?
Papa, yes. Ladies, just a moment. I have some closing remarks. You know what? I thought about that matter. Tell me. Sorry, I have some closing remarks. Kati nze waliwo ebintu ebimu bye nazuula nti obulamu obulungi obweyagaza bulina okuddayo ku nsonga ennya enkulu. Emu yeya food, water, shelter. Food, water, shelter and what? And clothes and medical care. Waliwo ezo ensonga ze baatuwanga ze twasomanga mu primary, ezo eza basic needs. Obulamu obweyagaza bugwa ku ezo ensonga. Era nga nze nafuna endowooza egamba nti bw'obeera ng'olina w'osula nga si wabi nga kwegamba ng'era si wabi nga omuntu asobola okusulawo n'asigala ng'ali bulungi, ng'ekyokulya ofuna ng'osobola nedda nti bw'ogamba n'atafa ennyumba eyinza oba nga yagwa olubege. No, olina okubeera n'amaka agayimiridde. Kati nga ge nasomangako mu butabo bwa Buganda, nga mulina akatandaalo, enva weeziri mubeera n'enva, mubeera n'emmere, kwegamba nga waka walabika bulungi, ng'otegekawo ne walabika bulungi, ng'abaana basobola okugenda ku ssomero, nga musobola okwambala, nga ne bamubeera mulwadde musobola okugenda ne mwejjanjaba. Bw'obeera nga osobola okufuna besiki eyo, okululunkana kubeere kutono. Tutandike okubeera nga kwegamba nga kye tusinga okubeerako okufuba okulaba nti tusobola okufuna that basic. Bwe tuba nga tusobola okufuna that basic, ebisigadde tusobola okubyeŋŋanga. Nze ndowooza nti tusobola okukifuna, tusobola okunoonya engeri gye tukifunamu, naye all in all omukyala yalibadde ewaka n'alabirira ewaka, kwegamba nga n'abantu bwe babeera nga banoonya mwami gundi bamanyi aw'okugenda ne baleka ne ba ne information. Wadde tulina amasimu basobola okugamba nti bajja kumusisinkana ku ssimu, naye waliwo okuggumira okubeerawo ng'omanyi nti bwe nnaagenda ewa mukyala gundi nga nina ensonga yange nja mmusangawo, oba bwe nnaaba ngenda ogira kino kwegamba nja kuba nina gwe nsangawo. Nze ebintu ebyo nakizuula nti bintu bikulu, era nsaba Mukama anoonye engeri gy'akitukoleramu tubeere nga tukirina.
Okay, thank you, Nancha. Abakakomawo tuli mu parting shots. Becky, good to see you. Economy itabuse.
Byaffe nga bizibu.
Mute sonko sente zijje.
Si wakuvaayo kati. Tomanyi nti nno owa wano yawoowa endi scripti.
Oweri wamma oweeyo yasinga oweena amaanyi obukadde.
Obukadde magezi.
Lwaki mututwala mu Thursday bannaye?
Ffe twogera bya Monday. Tuli mu kwogera ku bakabaka.
Ala mu milioni 5 ng'abavayo n'ataano.
Milioni 5 ate bya Thursday. Anyway, mutuwe closing remarks bannaye tube wano. 5 minutes to go. Isaiah, what are your parting shots on this topic?
My parting shots. My parting shots are that it was intended that we get where we are. Therefore, we can intend to get where we want to get. Like I said, we must sit down and revise our values. We want to work, yes, but why are we working? You need to sit down and ask yourself, what are you working for? If you answer that question and your answer to that question is family, then build a family. Build a family in the same time you're building your career. Your family should not be the altar, or you shouldn't sacrifice your family for finances. You should sacrifice your finances for your family, because eventually we need sober people, sober children, sober girls, sober men. Both men and women were created in the image of God. It is not that the man is superior than the woman or the woman is superior than the man. No, we are all created in the image of God. So a woman must work, and we are all created to worship God and to work, both men and women. So a woman must worship. For as far as I'm concerned, they must worship the right God, and a man also must worship. A woman must work, and a man also must work. All we need is to know our place. We must get to the point where we understand that we need each other and serve our purposes in life. There are many women who were born to be leaders, but the president of Tanzania is a wife, and a submissive wife to a man who is not a president.
Third wife.
I didn't want to go into those dynamics, but I wanted to just crown it into that submission, that it takes high humility for you to be a third wife and you are the president and you are still bowing down to that. And that also takes some knowledge. So we must not hide our stupidity. In the name of economy, we have evolved. Yes, we have evolved into stupid and into fools. That's the evolution that we're talking about. We have evolved into non-believers. We no longer fear God. So if we don't fear God, can we even fear our women? Can we even fear our husbands? We can't. So moderator, let us repent this sin of feminism, of toxic masculinity. Let us repent all these sins. We must repent. And yes, we can. The excuse that we are giving is disguised in our greed. No, we can't. A woman must work. We are just greedy. We have failed to live naturally. We want to live artificially. We want to collect more than we need, and we expect to be happy. It is very, very unfortunate. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, and may God bless you.
Thank you, everybody. God bless you.
Jethro, musombaye kugundi awo ate agambye ate our breed of saying the woman must work. I think I can sagamba let the woman work. Kati awo nensoberwa. You know, so I didn't know now. What should we take?
But Enoch, do you listen or you just hear? Yes, no, on a very serious note, because it hasn't happened only today. It has happened many times. Because I was the one who told you that there is no time in history when the woman was not working.
In the end, in we are saying evolution, the woman must work. You know, so anyway, maybe I misunderstood the thing, but it's fine.
Indeed. Have a nice day.
Okay. Good.
See you guys on Thursday. We shall talk about the 500 million. Bye.